I've played a few Mario Kart games in my time, and by a few, I mean all of them at least once. Some for longer than others, some only at conventions for just under an hour, and some for hundreds of hours in the comfort of my own home. But long enough to decide which tracks I think are the essential ones that they should add to the Booster Course Pass. I will go over each game and choose only 3 of its tracks which haven't already been remade in 8 Deluxe as the essentials. I won't be covering Rainbow Roads as I think they're all essential tracks for the Booster Course Pass and will all be added at some point, as all of the Rainbow Road tracks that still haven't been remade in 8 Deluxe are really good. First up, we have Super Mario Kart. This was the first Mario Kart and did brilliant things considering the hardware it was on. The tracks, however, aren't the most dynamic in terms of visuals or track design, but there's still some pretty good ones that they could choose from. I've decided that the essentials are Mario Circuit 2, Bowser's Castle 2, and Ghost Valley 2. Mario Circuit 2 is probably the most iconic from Super Mario Kart because of its music, but it also dares to be a bit different compared to the other SNES Mario Kart circuits, as it has a jump which launches you over a portion of the previously treaded track. Bowser's Castle 2 is the one I've chosen out of all of the SNES Bowser's Castles, not because I think it has the best layout of the bunch, but because it has the iconic random dead end in the middle of the track, and I love that. Ghost Valley 2 is a track that I really enjoyed in the Wii remake. I love all the incredibly windy paths, and the idea of having blocks as walls which disappear when you bump into them has always felt very unique to me. Mario Kart 64 is a game I grew up playing, so I'm very nostalgic when it comes to it. When I played it at Insomnia Gaming Festival the other day, however, I realised that if I remove my nostalgia bias, I feel the tracks haven't aged that well. But I still think there's huge potential for some of them if they were to be remade. From Mario Kart 64, I think the essential tracks are Wario Stadium, Calamari Desert, and Banshee Boardwalk. Wario Stadium is a track which I never understood the hype around. I didn't like the textures or the colours, and I thought the track was too long. But I do think the layout is very chaotic, in a good way. And I think in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the track's countless jumps would benefit thoroughly from the tricking mechanics, and the track itself would definitely benefit from some retexturing, and perhaps making the race just 2 laps rather than 3, as it does go on for a very long time. Calamari Desert isn't a very advanced course in terms of layout, but having the train as its set piece makes it one of the most unique tracks in Mario Kart history. A constantly shifting, unpredictable and impassable object which can even the odds at any moment by slowing the person in first to an absolute stop. Brilliant track design. This one is one I'd be very surprised if we don't see in the Booster Course Pass. Banshee Boardwalk has a brilliantly unsettling aesthetic, with its nighttime setting, the creepy arrows on the wall, and the booze floating about. I also love the really hard right angle corners throughout the track. Usually this would get on my nerves, but it makes the dimly lit wooden boardwalk feel like even more of an unnatural place to be driving, and I love that very much. I've only ever played Super Circuit rather briefly at conventions, but whenever I did, these tracks stuck out to me the most in terms of track design and visuals. Mainly visuals. Alas, here they are! Sunset Wilds, Broken Pier, and Lakeside Park. There's not much more to say about these other than they have pretty solid track design and fun visuals for Super Circuit, and I think they'd be fabulous to remake. I played Double Dash again at Insomnia Gaming Festival a few days ago, and it's kinda what sparked my inspiration to continue making this video. I think it's a game that's held up very well over the years, and I managed to play all of its tracks. Here's the ones which I think are the essentials. Wario Coliseum, DK Mountain, and Dino Dino Jungle. Wario Coliseum is a track which is absolutely bonkers. A very chaotic track to play with a lot of races at once. I feel it lacks variation a little because there's little in terms of branching paths, but I feel it absolutely deserves a remake as it's never been remade before and it's still very fun to race on. DK Mountain was always one of my favourites when I played it in the Wii version, and to this day I love the feeling of hurtling down the track with items and other racers flying about everywhere around you. Dino Dino Jungle has always been a fun concept to to me. It's one of the most unique tracks ever, with the dinosaurs roaming around and the branching paths. I've always preferred the 3DS version, as I feel its areas with smaller paths benefited from an engine which is less slippery, so I feel it'll fit in great with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's engine as well. And now we move on to Mario Kart DS. Choosing tracks from this game was difficult, as this game is full of very good ones, but I think I've narrowed it down to the truly best 3 tracks. No doubt, there will be someone in the comments that's not very happy with me for not including their favourite track from Mario Kart DS, but hey ho, here we go. The essential tracks for Mario Kart DS are Delfino Square, Airship Fortress, and Waluigi Pinball. In Delfino Square, I love the feeling of driving through the small, winding paths as all the buildings fly past you, as well as the exciting open drawbridge at the end. Airship Fortress is a track with a brilliantly crafted layout and very fun theming, which takes clear inspiration from the airship levels in Super Mario Bros. 3. I've always loved the variation in the areas the track takes you through, and the bullet bills, flamethrowers, and rocky wrenches you have to dodge. Waluigi Pinball, a clear fan favourite. Is the track layout the most dynamic? Not really. It's kind of just a windy path without any branching paths or shortcuts down to the pinball floor, and then you kind of just drive in a straight line and hope you don't get hit by a pinball. But the theming is so incredibly fun, and the music so funky, I can't help but love it dearly. Mario Kart Wii is my favourite Mario Kart game in the series, simply because of the brilliant track design and theming. This was a tough bunch to pick from, but I've decided that the essentials are Toad's Factory, Mushroom Gorge, and Maple Treeway. It pains me to not put Koopa Cape and DK Summit on this list, as they're both phenomenal tracks, but I think these 3 are just slightly more unique. Toad's Factory has always been one of my favourites in terms of theming. I love driving through it and dodging the moving machinery, driving over conveyor belts, and then through the warehouse at the end. It's just a whole lot of fun. Mushroom Gorge is a track I've always loved. It's quite a simple track layout on paper, but the bouncing mushrooms in the cavern are great fun to bounce across. Plus, the crystals in the walls of the cavern are very aesthetically pleasing. Maple Treeway is one of the absolute best tracks in Wii. It has a really inspired track layout. The theme of driving through a giant maple tree is awesome, driving under roots, driving on rounded branches which if you stick too close to one side of the track you could slip off, as well as the giant bouncy mesh sheet at the end of the track all make for a fabulous driving experience. And may I also add, all 3 of these tracks have absolute bangers as their soundtracks. Mario Kart 7 is a game with a slew of brilliant tracks, but I think it's relatively clear which are the strongest. I've decided that the essential tracks from Mario Kart 7 are Alpine Pass, Wario's Galleon, and Woohoo Mountain Loop. Alpine Pass was my favourite in Mario Kart 7 when I was younger. It makes gliders the main attraction of the course with some awesome flyovers, and it has a dramatic section where you boost up the vertical side of a mountain before the finish line. Wario's Galleon has always stood out to me for its wacky track design and theming. The feeling of exploring this neglected shipyard with so much variation in its areas is such a rush. Woohoo Mountain Loop is a course which feels like a massive adventure through a lot of the locations of Wii Sports Resort I've always loved. I chose this stage over Woohoo Island Loop because of the glider section at the end with the sunset. It's simply stunning, and to this day, it is the only Mario Kart track to actually make my jaw drop. I haven't played Mario Kart Tour properly after the first 3 days of its release because I think it's a gacha-riddled mess with terrible controls. However, it does have some very good tracks, so I've selected the 3 which I think should be included. Possibly for reasons which are dubious, but whatever. Let us commence forth. The essentials from this game are London Loop, Berlin Byways, and Merry Mountain. London Loop is a course I'd like to see added to the Booster Course Pass because I myself am quite clearly British, and I think it would be cool to see how the developers have implemented one of our capital cities into Mario Kart. I chose Berlin Byways because Berlin is a cool city. But that's not the main reason I've included it on this list. I've mainly included it because the track's soundtrack is an absolute banger. Merry Mountain is a very unique track. I think this course may be the best one from Tour. Unlike most mountain stages which have you racing downhill for most of the stage, Merry Mountain has you driving uphill, which in itself is very unique and clever compared to all the other mountain tracks in Mario Kart. But it also has loads of branching paths and some really cool theming, with presents scattered about and it being set at nighttime. For a Tour track, it looks stunning. In my eyes, the most essential track to bring over from Mario Kart Tour. So, what do you think of the tracks I've included on my essentials list for the Booster Course Pass? Feel free to let me know down in the comments and discuss the tracks you think are essential. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing so you don't miss any more of my Nintendo or Mario Kart content in the future. Thank you very much for watching, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.